Welcome to Lesson 8. In this lesson, we'll be looking at God's three-in-oneness, or the Trinity. Now, one of the earliest controversies in the early church revolved around the issue of definitions. How can God be both three and one? Arius, an almost celebrity preacher in Alexandria, around the late 200s, early 300 AD, was going around teaching problems. Now, he was a moral absolutist. He demanded that we could actually be made perfect like Jesus. However, the controversy which would lead to the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD condemning his teachings was that Arius wanted to uphold and maintain the uniqueness of God, his unity. And therefore, Arius argued that Jesus was not in fact equal to God the Father, but was subordinate as the firstborn of the Father. Nicaea, with brilliant arguments by some of the greatest minds in the early church, such as Eusebius, Origen, and the brilliant, but very young at the time, Athanasius, argued that God was three in persons and one in substance. This was not only a controversy that would hit at the unity and diversity of God with Arius, but would attack the very mystery of the Godhead. And the council would argue that the Godhead was indeed a mystery. The lesson we're looking at today is complex, but it's an essential doctrine of the church, and we must affirm the historical faith, standing both on the unity of God and the threeness of God. And it is in this doctrine that in the end we have to step back and say that we will never come to the end of the knowledge of God. Truly, He is above us. E.Y. Mullins, in his Systematic Theology, states that the knowledge of God is an endless vista that we will never fully comprehend. And so as you study the depth of the knowledge of God and who He is in His being and His threeness and His oneness, may that cause you to worship. We might not fully grasp it or understand it. In fact, the early church would go on to debate this for hundreds of years. And in fact, even today, there are controversies revolving around the issue of the Godhead. May we again confess the historical faith that the church has always confessed, that God is three persons, one in substance. We serve a Trinity. We worship a God who's both unity and diversity. So again, as you study in this section, may you worship Him. And may you go deep into the mystery of who our God is. May you be blessed in your studies.